Yeah.
Friends, if you're like me, you want your front porch to look beautiful, but you don't want the hassle of keeping up with a real plant, having to water it, make sure you're taking care of it, fertilize it. What if you go on vacation? Well, I have the perfect solution for you. We are going to be making these two DIY hanging potted plants today. And also, I'll be showing you some of my older DIY Dollar Tree plant hacks that I've had for several years now, and we're gonna see how they withstood the test of time. So if you want to see how we made these Dollar Tree DIY hanging potted planters, stick around. Let's get to it, friends. What you're going to need from Dollar Tree to make this awesome DIY is a variety of picks, whatever you so choose. As you can see, I chose a variety of different flowers and greenery, just different things that I liked, kind of stood out to me. I did add in a pop of color because, as you can see, it was kind of like a pink theme going on, but I wanted a pop of color in there, and then just some different greenery. You're also going to need a potted plant of your choice, whatever type of pot that you would like. I really liked the design on this one and thought it would match the rope really well, so that's why I went with this particular one. I also grabbed some super glue, the crafting artisan floral foams. I got two different ones, and I'll show you why in just a second. And then the nautical rope. Again, I got two different kinds of this. You have like a thicker kind of rope situation, and then a thinner one that I'm going to use to line the outside of our pot. So that's what you're going to need from Dollar Tree. You're also going to need some rocks or something heavy that you can put in your pot to weight it down so it's not just going to be blown around listlessly by the wind. So I have some rocks from my yard. We have a whole big huge rock patch out in our backyard. I didn't spend money on those at the Dollar Tree, even though I do know that they sell them, because I have had to buy them for some things, projects and things for my classroom. Also scissors, a tape measure. I found that a flexible tape measure like this works best for our particular project. Some tape, a pencil, and a hot glue gun. Now, all of these things I know you can buy at Dollar Tree. I just didn't rebuy them because, like I said, I already had them here at the house and I didn't want to waste the money. So these things you can find, but I did already have them. And then last but not least, you're going to need a drill or something that you can use to poke through the sides of your pot so that we can get that rope through. Now, I used a drill. I knew I had one at home. However, there are tons of different ways and methods that you can use to get through that potted plant. It's not very thick plastic at all, but just make sure you've got something so you can get through the side of that to put where your holes are going to be for your rope to hang the potted plant. So let's get started on this DIY.
So first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that we tape securely the tape measure, so it just makes it a little bit easier for us to measure the circumference of our pot that we have. I measured and I found that it was 23 inches. So then I knew I needed to divide that by 3 to be able to see where I needed to mark for our holes that our rope is going to go through. So I found that it was like 7.6666, as you can see. So I just decided to do 7.5 and then that first little notch after the half mark symbol, and you'll see me mark it here. It's the 7.5 and then that first notch afterwards. I'm not quite sure if it's like 5/8 or what it is, but you'll see me, I just keep marking all the way through the 7.5 and then the half mark symbol. I'm just checking here to make sure all of my holes look good. Then I'm going back to those little marks that I made, and I'm trying to measure and see exactly where I want to put each one of the little holes, like how far down on the rim that I want to go. I wanted to make sure that I did it evenly so that they would space and hang correctly, like it wouldn't really be crooked when we hung it on our porch outside. So again, I'm just marking, it's like 1 inch and then 1 notch after the inch. It's not exactly 1 1/4 inches, but like 1 mark after the inch. Then I'm just taking my drill and I am drilling 3 holes around kind of like that mark that I made, kind of trying to keep that mark in the center, if that makes sense. And I'm just drilling 3 holes around. I did that for all 3 of the marks that we made, and then I'm just taking my pair of scissors here and I am hollowing out the mark if there was any of the little circumference there, the little rim left in between, just kind of making that easier to go through. Make sure that you drill holes in the bottom of your pot so that that rain can fall through if it ever rains. You don't want it to just sit in your pot. Now we're just taking our hot glue gun and we are gluing together our craft foam, our floral foam, so that way it's not wibbly wobbly in our pot when we are sticking in our little flowers. So I just glued the green piece to the white piece, and now I'm taking that white piece and that green piece that's glued together, making sure I've got glue everywhere, and I am just sticking it down in the bottom of my pot, making sure that that's secure and that it's not going to move. Next up, it's time for us to add in the rocks. That's going to be that weight that we need, so it's just not going to blow around in the wind. It's still probably going to blow some, but hopefully it won't be as bad as it would be if it was just an empty pot. I just took 2 red Solo cups of rocks that I got from my backyard. Next up, we are going to be taking our rope that we are going to use as what we're going to hang our pot from. And I am measuring, and I need each one of our strips of rope to be 34 inches. So I'm going to cut this 8-foot rope into 34-inch sections. They will be equal in length there. And then the last one, I think I just had to cut off just a little bit. Yeah, perfect. So now they are 34 inches. Now, a part that I found very important when I was doing my first one is to take some of the tape that I have and to put it around the end that I'm going to stick through the pot. That way the rope won't fray, it won't get caught, it's still going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze, or it was for me, but it's just going to make it a lot easier. As you can see here, I've got to tug just a little bit, but everything stays together. And I'm able to pull it right on through once I get it past the rope there, the tape on the rope. All right, then I do that for all 3 of the ropes that I've got there, just wiggling it on through, and there we have it. Next, I make sure I take the tape off of the end of the rope, and I tie a knot in the rope as close to the edge as I can get, and then I squeeze and pull and tighten for dear life. I do that for all 3 of our rope pieces. And then I don't know if it works in my head. I don't know if it's true, but I just took some super glue to make sure that the rope kind of like stuck and stayed together, and put it on all of the seams. Then you just pull the rope through. Then you're going to measure, kind of pull your rope pieces tight and taut, so it's not leaning one way or the other. And then you are going to tie a knot in the end of the rope so that you can hang it. And then again, squeeze, pull, push for dear life. Make sure that it's all stayed together. And again, with the super glue, just making sure that it's not going to fall apart on me. And now the fun part of decorating the outside of the bucket. This part is super easy, just a little time consuming, as you can imagine. I'm just using hot glue, just placing a bead of the hot glue on the outside of my pot, and just holding the rope up, putting it around the edge of the rim of our potted plant there, just going all the way around, making sure that that rope is like really tight and together. And there we have it. Didn't make you guys watch me doing the whole thing. This is what it looks like when you have it all the way around. It covers up where our rope is, and then it is time for us to break apart our picks. Of course, I make sure I take off the tag. This is how I do it. I'm not saying that it's the best way. I'm sure that there's a safer way. I just kind of make sure I get in there with those scissors and kind of cut and score the metal.
All right, guys, now it's time for the fun part. We have our pot ready to go. We have all of our picks clipped and ready to be put in. Let's see how we can make this one look like this one. I love this part. I wish I could tell you, like the secret trick or the rhyme or reason for this for me, and honestly there's not one. I just kind of arrange the flowers how I think it makes sense, how they look best. I try to space out the same type of flowers throughout the pot to make sure there's like full coverage of everything. I like to mainly stick the picks in the green foam. It's just a little bit easier to get through. However, sometimes it feels like that the clear, like the white styrofoam cube, is a little bit more sturdy. So just do whatever is best for you. Of course, you want to try to move your pot around to all the different angles as you are putting in your flowers to make sure that there's no holes, that there's no gap. I'm gonna save the blue flowers to the end and insert those in specific places to make sure that the pink is kind of broken up, because this is a very pink plant, which I'm not mad about. I think it's gonna look so pretty. Do you guys make anything like this at your house? Have you ever made anything like this with the Dollar Tree products or any type of products before? I'm definitely going to show you guys my other two projects that I made several years ago in just a few minutes. Those were when I lived at our old house. I want to say it was during COVID that I made those. I can't remember though, to be honest with you guys. But I have had those for years. Now they are probably going to look a little dusty because of course you guys know we just moved and they've been in storage for a long time. However, I am super pleased with them and think that they held up well. I like these little flowers. I think these are pretty. These and these I think are my favorite from this bunch that I got. Okay. And of course, you can add as many picks and as many different flower varieties as you want. There is not like a certain amount and then you have to stop. I just like to make sure that you can't really see into the plant, the bottom down there. And a lot of times what I'll do is I will grab some greenery and just kind of fill in if there's like big huge gaps. But this greenery right here and this greenery right here, this is all that they had when I went to the Dollar Tree at my local Dollar Tree and picked it up. So it's not very full. It's not as full as I would like it to be. However, it's still going to serve its purpose. It's still going to be great. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good there. Okay, I'm just going to continue going through and filling in these flowers where I think they need to go. Once I get finished, we'll give it a look and we'll see from all the different angles if we like it, and we'll rearrange where we need. And there we have it, friends, our DIY Dollar Tree hanging plant. Just giving it a look around as we turn it, seeing if there's any gaps or holes or anywhere that we can rearrange flowers or twist them a bit to make sure that they are seen and everything is popping. Yes, I'm so excited with how these turned out. I think they look great. They are going to be just what I need for our front porch. Low maintenance, don't have to worry about watering it while we're on vacation or if we go out of town. Don't have to worry about it at all because it was all Dollar Tree products. So if something happens to it, it's not like I'm losing a bunch of money, but it's still going to give me that bright summertime look and feel as if we had a whole garden hanging, right? Okay, here they are, side by side. Let me know what you guys think, and let's get these hung.
Before we did that, I wanted to show you guys the other two Dollar Tree DIYs. This one was made with all Dollar Tree except for a couple things I had around the house. I think it looks great still. And then I have my one out front. The barrels came from Walmart or Dollar General. I can't remember, but everything else is Dollar Tree, and I still think it looks absolutely wonderful.
Here they are, friends. I think they look fantastic. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I don't think you can tell at all that they're Dollar Tree products, not that that matters. I think it adds the perfect pop of color to our porch, and I don't have to worry about keeping them alive and watering them. Thank you so much for hanging out while we did this DIY. I hope you liked it. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.